Basically, there are two kinds of people. First one is they consider math as the mother of science. They think it's math that make our life better, while the other kinds of people, they consider math as an abbreviation of mental abuse to humans. For me, definitely, I'm the first one, people. Not only I'm good at math because I like math. I'm always curious about why these people they hate math. So the first reason I think is the way that schools educate us. Like, let's take this question as an example. In case you meet a person in a dark alley late at night and he points a gun at you and says, "I want to discuss the function x to x powers," you need to be prepared. As you can see, it's quite useful, right? So, in my opinion, the school forces us to learn math. Although the math is an abstract subject, but it still have this useful aspect for us. But school want to teach us in an arbitrary way. He doesn't want you really understand what math is doing. They just want you practice doing these math questions. So that is one of the biggest problems this school has. So now today I want to use a few examples to show you how math really works in our daily life. First, math is like other kind of science. It's totally languages, just like Chinese, like English, like Spanish. We can talk with others. We can express our feelings. We express our thinking by math. Besides, what's more, math is totally all kinds of logical thinking. So you can even talk to aliens through math. If you want to express what you're feeling, remember, use math. Math can express what you're thinking precisely. And on the other hand, what you're thinking, definitely there is mathematicians are starting for. Let's take cutting the cake as an example. If there's two kids, they're trying to eat a round cake. How can you make sure those kids are willing to get their own part, since the kids, they always want a bigger part and they consider others one is bigger than themselves. So there's a group of mathematicians. They came up with ideas. They made first kids to cut a cake in half and told him to make those half of cakes equal to each other's and make the second kids pick them. So in that way, the first kid think they already made it halfway. So in that way, the first kids may think he cut the cake in equal half, and the second kids think that they picked the bigger part. So those two kids are satisfied with their own part of the cake. That's a quite good solution, right? So that is a branch of mathematics. The other common problem of all the students with math is why they think calculus is useful. And let me explain how calculus works in our daily life. First, math can predict the future. If we want to describe an incident, we can just come up with a graph that shows how this incident works. And then we need to use calculus to analyze each point of that graph. Like if we know this car is driving on this roads, and we can come up with a graph that can describe precisely how this cars work. After that, we use a calculus to count the precise speed of each point. The other common problem of all the students with math is why they think calculus is useful. So let me explain how calculus works in our daily life. First, math can predict the future. So if we want to describe an incident, we can just come up with a graph that shows how this incident works. And then we need to use calculus to analyze each point of that graph works. Like if we know this car is driving on this roads, and we can come up with a graph that can describe precisely how this cars work. And then we can use calculus to solve each point of his driving, what he's doing at that point, what is speed, what is accelerate. So this is how calculus works. What's more, calculus can know what is the optimized point. Like if you're selling something, you know the price and you know the demand and supply, and you want to know how to make the huge profit, how to make the biggest profit. So now you need calculus to count which part you have set, you can make the biggest income. So that is the basic 2 points that you can use calculus. So that's how math works. So math is not an abstract subject. Math is really useful and really it's really used for realistic subjects. Science to unlike traditional stereotype, math is like unlike other kind of science. You can use math every time, every second in your life. And math is not useful but also realistic. It can help you think more precisely, think in more logical ways. Thank you.